Hello, everybody. I am Sun Psychic Jean, and look who I have with me here today, Mark the Spirit Whisperer. Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you believe it's March 1st already?
I know, and we match our sparkles and our color. It's just one of those days. I love, what is it, aubergine? This was actually the color of my wedding. Well,
Uh,
the theme color.
yes,
Hmm.
like a purple. Yes, I love it. I
Yep,
love sparkles. I got
aubergine.
this jacket and I can't get enough of it. I just love it. It's very cute.
I do too.
It's
And I
like a
love
little
the shirt
baseball
underneath
jacket
too.
or something
Hmm.
because it has the little cups. And then there's also gold on the bottom, which you can't, it's like gold, purple, and green.
Oh.
If it sparkles, I like it though. That's why I love your top too. I can, never enough sparkles for me.
Exactly, exactly. And I look far and wide for these because it makes a difference when you're on if you have something of interest and something that reflects. Not everything does.
Right.
But enough about us. Hi everybody. Thank you all for being here. So
Enough
nice
about
to see
us.
you.
It's
I
never
see
enough about us.
Bernadette, Jane, Sporty Shorty, Wiki, Jill, uh uh Ocean Girl. Is that what it says? Ocean, yeah, Ocean Girl. Yeah, that's neat. Jenny Berlin, Marjorie, Lois. So nice to see everybody. Donna and uh, thank you for the gifted. Oh, that's sweet. No flying, no space cats today, right, Mark? I'll
Yeah,
never forget that. That blew my mind.
I almost wore my space cats, but at the last minute I went, oh no, I'm going to go a little less space cat.
And Coyote Rosenbaum. Hi, everybody. Shandell, so nice to see you. Aw, very nice. Very nice.
Up from
So nice.
Australia. It must be really, is it really early there, Chantel? I always,
Oh,
I get confused about the time, but I know it's a lot between here and Australia.
and Grateful is here. Super truthful. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
all the
So,
planets, you knew that, didn't you? Like all the planets were supposed to have lined up in a row or something.
and it's like a parade. It was like a display. It's
Oh,
not in a row this way. It's on display like this way. Like
oh cool.
and then like at the very end, two of them at the very end were only visible for like an hour or two, but then
Oh,
it moved. Yeah,
visible
but
with telescope though, right? You can't just, can you just
I
see them?
I did recently delete my the graphic that I had for it, but it was five of them were visible to the eye, and two or three of them with a telescope.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm. Dragonfly is here. Apartment 868. I love that. That is so cute. Apartment 868. I like that handle. So creative, you guys. Remember that show, Room 222?
Yeah. Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs. And Jean Talent is here. Very nice.
Dragonfly.
So, uh, wow, everybody. We're just going to take them as they come. We're going to do the
Oh yeah.
best that we can. Make sure you use caps and emojis. And please be here for your reading. If we call you, please say yes, that you're here. And, make sure you are here to validate as we're reading. That would be grateful. We would be so grateful, and that would be lovely. And Cece Angel is here. So nice to see you, Cece Angel. We connected with her husband the other day, and it was wow, really profound.
Oh, it's
Really profound.
4:30 a.m. with Chandel and Australia. 4:30 a.m. Yeah. Good morning. Sometimes that's about the time I go to bed. So there you go.
So Patricia Sullivan is here, and she says a longtime friend recently died in his sleep. No explanation. Do you know the cause? His name is Charlie Brown. That's a
Oh,
neat name. That is a neat name.
and you
And
must have been Peppermint Patty, Patricia. Ah ha ha.
yeah, maybe Patricia likes peppermints, right?
maybe your peppermint patty and Charlie Brown. Do you want to do that now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
This one was intriguing me. A longtime friend recently died in his sleep.
And his name is Charlie Brown. Yeah, what happened, Charlie? Hmm.
I do feel like it's a cardiac arrest because I feel like it's something very sudden, and it's something that he almost went and couldn't breathe, and I thought maybe it was something caught in his throat, but I think it was just the shock. The only other thing it could have been is like an aneurysm right around there that it would have. But this is what I'm feeling. I do feel him like trying to breathe in and not being able to. I'm not sure if he had COPD, like if he had other contributing factors, but I just see him being startled by not being able to breathe in. But it was, I'm not even sure. I kind of get the idea that he was not aware of it. He may have had like shortness of breath, or he may have had tiredness or abnormal type of, symptoms, but he wasn't suspecting anything. But that's what I'm getting. How about you, Mark?
Kind of feeling that same thing, Gene. I feel like it came quick in the night, like you said, but I also get that in this card. And I don't even know if it woke him up. There's one part of me that thinks he just went to sleep, and the next thing you know, he was on the other side, like that kind of a thing. I get the Ten of Swords. Is it Ten of Swords? I don't know. This card is just stuck to my hand. It comes out all the time. But, look, there he is. It's like it comes in the night and it's all at once. This also makes me think heart a little bit with that sword energy, like a sharp pain, but it feels like it was quick. I'm not sure he felt it much. And then the next card is the Six of Wands. Here I am arriving at heaven. That's that spirit card. That's also that, when you're writing down a ticker tape parade. So he kind of went right from, it was quick, like, and then he just went right to heaven. I don't feel like there was suffering. And my first thought was, this would be a good way to go. If we're thinking of different ways, because it feels like it was unexpected. He wasn't really thinking about it. It went so quick. They didn't have time to, worry about it or suffer, feels like.
Yep, she says, thank you for easing my mind. I was afraid substances were involved, sort of like a accidental overdose.
I think he may have had alcohol, maybe, but I don't think he was trying to off himself or anything. Feels like he might use something that made him sleep more deeply, so I'm wondering if maybe there was alcohol or something before he went to sleep. So he might have been kind of in a groggy sleep or something, and maybe that's why I'm feeling like he didn't feel much or didn't. If he woke up, it was just a second or something like that. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I feel it was quick and painless. But all the best to you, Patricia, and all the best to Charlie Brown. And
yeah,
it's never easy. Okay, so Diana is here. She says she would like to know. She if it's best for her to pursue new training being offered at her part-time job or continue teaching. Interesting. I love the either or, and only because I have the pendulum, but um, I also, after we do figure this out, kind of want to know, I feel, if I could just elaborate a little bit, I feel like you might be frustrated and disappointed in your teaching. This is why you're even considering the new training for your part-time job. And if it's not too much of your energy, the training is, I mean, it's always beneficial because you just don't know what the future may bring. It's always good to accumulate with skills. But if you pursue new training at your part-time job, does it mean you must leave teaching? Only because you say part-time job. Let me just see. And hi, Kevin Lewis. So nice to see you. Thanks for being here. All right. And Diva is here. Nice to see you. Thank you. All right. Your heart's not in either of them, dear Diana. Actually, your heart is a little bit more. If things were different, you'd really prefer teaching. And I feel like you're only doing the part-time job to what do they call it? Like buffer or add or support the teaching job. You're you really, it's something that you're not looking forward to. Like the part-time job doesn't excite you. Teaching does, but because of the situation and the parameters and the limitations in teaching, that part frustrates you. But you really would love to be free and be teaching. And you are a really good teacher and you do care and you communicate extremely well. Is this new training, would you be like teaching or training in any way? Like, would you be able to train someday? Because you do like to help people learn new things. So I do feel like, what is it better for Diana to take the new training? Is it better for Diana to stick with her teaching? As far as the pendulum at this point in time is the teaching, even though it's not as, yeah, it's hard. I don't know if you have to do 100% one way or the other. How about you, Mark?
Well, I feel like there's something to be gained from that training, but I don't think you should stop the teaching in order to do it. So it feels like if you do it, you'd be doing both for a while, like go to the training, but you still are doing your work at the hospital, your training thing, what you teach. That's what it feels like to me. Although the new training would be interesting, I feel like something you could use. It's kind of a little bit of a different perspective, or a little bit of kind of a distracting energy, but not in a bad way. It kind of gets you out of a rut a little bit. But I'm not getting stop teaching. It might shift a little bit. Here's an Ace of Wands. So I feel like that this, that looks like the training that's being offered. Hey, why don't you try this? And I'd say go for it. If nothing else, it's just learning something new. Unless it's just, too intensive, it would be too much. But I get the Nine of Cups, which makes me think it'd be a little bit on your plate, but you might do both at the same time. You'll have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It feels like it's you benefit from learning it, whatever it is.
She said, you're spot on. I work in radiology. I teach x-ray students, and I'm considering moving on to MRI. So
yeah, I could see you doing that.
mm-hmm. I would the new as long the new training is within your same field. It's not like should I don't know, do yoga or
Yeah,
teach children. It's not that
related.
different. It's within the same field.
It seems like it can help what you want to do. If you did this training somehow, it would be beneficial. But let's don't toss in the teaching thing because you're
Right.
good at that, I think. And they're not done with you as far as that goes. I don't think.
Good for you, Diana. Thank you for your question. So Joyce says, I lost my cat in January. Her name was Grouchy. Aw. Is she happy now and now alone? She said she lost.
I lost my cat.
So she passed away.
Or did you like
Did she cross the Rainbow Bridge? Is she not alone? So I feel like, yeah, I feel like Grouchy has crossed over.
You said yes, but I don't know. Does that mean yes, she's passed, or
Passed.
yes,
Mhm.
she ran away from home? Oh, there's just another yes. Okay. Her name was Grouchy.
Oh, she loved her name. She loved being Henri. And she knew it was an endearing term. I think she was a little, I don't know if you found her, if she was feral or if she was a rescue, but she has some like scars from her earlier life that you helped her and made her feel secure, but she still had that edge to her. Like she kept her boundaries. But she loved the way that you accepted her for exactly who she was and how she was and gave her space and allowed her time to sort of move into trusting you. I feel like you both are wounded souls. Like she had some wounds and you had some wounds and you sort of commiserated together and you helped each other. And Grouchy says she's not alone. She says that she is. Um, there's other animal life as well as humans that are, or souls that were incarnated here on Earth that she's with on the other side as well. She doesn't have to know them; they just have to be connected to you because it's all soul family. So she says she's with the family. How about you, Mark? Oh, sorry, I did that with me not being there.
Yeah. Well, what I'm getting, Joyce, is she's not that. Do you have another cat? It feels like you don't. This was the only one, but correct me if that's not true. Um, she's not that. If that's true, and that's what I'm feeling is right, she's not really that excited about the idea of you not having a cat. So there's that. She hasn't really. She don't like that much. He has two other rescues and one's pregnant. Okay. Aha. One's pregnant. Is that what we're talking about here? Well, Joyce, I'm kind of wanting the cards to go a different direction, but they're being very hard-headed and say, no, Mark, we're going in this very direction that we started out going. So get over it. So here's the thing. I don't know. Grouchy might show up as one of those kittens that pregnant mommy's carrying. Here's the first card I got, innocence, looking through fresh eyes. And then you go, oh, I have a pregnant cat because I want the question was ask about if there's other cats. So there's that little kitten looking through fresh eyes, and we're talking to Grouchy. Our next card is, receive and accept the gift. Here's my ode. I'm not staying in heaven long. I'm going right through the pearly gates to return. It says exploration, step outside your boundaries. They give me this card over and over again when we're thinking about, we're not going to hang out up here. There's kind of one of these in the dog deck, but it's them going through the gate. Then I get this, where it's manifest from thought to form. I'm not going to stay here in the mental realms. I'm going to come back into the physical realms, return territory, and find my place. So all these cards, even though I kind of go, could you tell me? Go in a different direction? So that's what I'm getting. I think maybe Grouchy might be thinking about returning in one of those little kittens.
Wow.
March. The timing and everything seems right on. Anyway, that's what I get.
Wow. Excellent. Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for your question. Thank you, Mark. And Ocean Girl, you're next. And after Ocean Girl is Ashley Carr. So you guys just say hello. And Ocean Girl says, is it time for me to come out of the psychic closet? And that is a resounding yes. It is time for all of us to come out of the psychic closet. And what this is just a way for us to be our authentic self and to exercise our autonomy and our sovereign being and choices, our free will. And the more that we are, the more other people will. And this is sort of like the push that you're feeling, that you see other people sharing and becoming who they are authentically. And it's reminding you, and your spirit is reminding you that it's for the greater good. It's also a way of ascending and through the from 3D to 5D, through the evolution of humanity, we're all coming back into our original divine abilities. And we all have these abilities, and we all have them to different degrees. And by you coming out of the closet, you allow other people who have similar abilities to also come out of the closet. And it's really important that we are all ourselves, and there's no more deceit, there's no more hiding, there's no more trying to get along with the Joneses. It's really important for us to express our individuality. How about you, Mark?
Yes, of course, big loud screaming. Of course, it's time for you to come out. You knew that already. You didn't expect us to say, no, stay in the closet. No, I'm playing with you. And I love that you ask it that way, because the very first day of my channel, I think maybe the first words out of my mouth were, this is me coming out of my metaphysical spiritual closet. I used those very exact words. And, even though people that knew me personally knew that about me, but the world didn't. And I was really guided to come out in front of the world. And that's what you're feeling. And I know it's like, yeah, because your brothers, yeah, not a single soul in my family understood what I was doing, or, they weren't like, oh yeah, Mark's like a psychic medium. No, he's just weird, crazy. And, that's all that is. It's not about them. It's about you. But anyway, I got a couple cards to support it, my little sweetie pie. Here's the one, Ace of Wands. That's the offer. Wands are spirit. It's the offer from heaven, or source, creator. I like the word God, but whatever you like to call it. Hey, join my hand. We have an adventure to go on. And this is the new start, the fresh start. Get out of that closet. And then, so there's that message from spirit. But look, here's the King of Wands. And a lot of times for me, the way I read, Wands is spirit body, and the King of Wands would be the highest, the high spirit, kind of like the creator. And that's where this message is coming from. Come out of the closet on my behalf. Now, this guy's in a costume because this is the Halloween deck. And then the Fool. Trust and take the leap. Spirit's got your back. Okay? It's all time. The time's now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And thank you, Ocean Girl, for being you and for asking your question. And next is Ashley Carr. And after Ashley Carr is Grateful. So Ashley and Grateful, just say hi. And Ashley says, when will I be hired again? And where will I be working? Which job will I be hired for? I was laid off 6 months ago. You'll have to probably give us a little bit more information there, Ashley. I'm sorry I didn't understand that. We can probably, yeah. I think we would need a little bit more information as far as which job you could be applying to 20 or 50 different jobs. And we would be on primetime TV if we could ascertain the answer. I'm sorry, I didn't read this. I just saw your name and was drawn to you. But
like, is there an offer coming soon? Because 6 months is a while, I would think. I imagine you're wondering, is anything coming?
I wouldn't go back. Okay, she's interviewing for one. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. And I wouldn't go back to the original place that you got laid off from. I don't feel that, not that they don't need you, not that you couldn't get back there, but I don't feel it's as stable or as reliable, and you're always going to be looking over your shoulder. Yeah, she's applied to thousands. That's what I felt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I wouldn't go back. And it's important it is a numbers game, and keep sending those out. And when you get down to 3 interviews and there's 3 choices, what's important to do is what's going to bring you joy, what you feel the most excited about doing, and not the most money, not the closest one, but whatever is going to bring you the most joy. And in the meantime, I would start working on developing a service that you can provide, that you're really good at, that you can help other people with. A service industry and doing what you do best for other people, even if you're, I don't know, maybe you work in the medical field and you're an X-ray tech, but you're really good at teaching people math, whatever, and you love to do that. But, whatever it is that you love to do, start doing that now. Start working on being you and doing what you love now, and being of service to other people, whether it's helping the elderly, whether it's whatever it is, be of service to people and create something that you love to do, and do it while you're looking for that other job. And I'm letting you know that it's not to distract you, and it's not to pacify you. It's to generate this joy. It's to generate this, not that I'm important, but I have this value. I have this skill, and I'm worthy. And the service can be paid or not paid. You can be a volunteer and help other people. But you exercising your greatest skill will uplift your spirit and your energy, and also enable you to identify which job it is, when you come down to those 3, that is in your highest good. And we always want to try and ask that you choose the one that's going to bring you the most joy, because when you have the most joy, this is where you're the most successful. I don't care if they tell you 10,000 more or 10,000 less. It's where you're joyful is where you're going to be the most successful. And I ran an inspiration workshop at Walmart Corp. Wow. See, I think you're filled with inspiration. And if that is, I think you already have your skills. And I think you already have something that somebody else needs. And the more you start practicing that and doing that, and maybe somebody else say, "Oh, we want you to do that for our company," or that's exactly what our company needs. Or, it'll flourish and you'll start bringing on new people. How about you, Mark?
Yeah. Hi, Ashley. I think that this big pause and the 6 months and all that. It's not so much about you and your abilities and things like that, because you're talented at what you do. It's more about the companies, and you talked about there were some banks and stuff. They've been going through a major tower, like a lot of the bigger companies, banks, stores. They're just, a lot of them are crashing and burning. So first of all, get the tower. It's not your tower. You're kind of wrapped up in it because the place you worked is going through a tower. And not just that one, but I get the whole, what is it? Business, all of it. And it's banking and all that. They're trying to rebalance. So there's been this tower, and now they're trying to rebalance. And as a result of the tower, it took, jobs along with it. But it's not completely gone. There's still some remain standing, but some will go. So I still feel like there may be an offer from that kind of thing in the future. I do think you're going to probably start getting some responses, where you're just not putting stuff out and nobody. It does feel like there's some responses about to come in. Knight of Swords, Page of Swords. I would take these both like responses to your applications, or the work you've been, really the applications, because this is like the communication, mental energy. We're replying to you, and this page makes me think you may have just heard about a job that's gonna, I don't know, like one of those Walmart things or something. It's right here. The final outcome is the Sun. So, I think you're going to be working again here pretty soon. Now, I get the feeling you've already done this, Ashley, but if not, my best advice right here in this time. Yeah, I like it, sweetie. It's about to happen. Yeah, the Sun's a great outcome. But also right in the middle of all this, I get the Magician. Now, and what this card's telling me today in this reading is, go ahead and make a conscious partnership with the Creator. Like, help me go ahead and get the next best, form of service that serves me and others to our highest good. That's that joy energy, what makes you happy, because you are going through a transition, and you'll come out on the other side, still working, but there's going to be a little bit of a shift and change in it. So I always just make sure I have my teammate, the universe, on my side, and I consciously ask them, so that I know they're working for me. And what that happens is, it can help you move through any kind of blocks much more quickly, right? So they're just reminding you of doing that. If you haven't already, you take a few minutes to present your problem to the Creator and your solution. But I feel there's some offers coming. Yeah, there you go. More creative. And that's probably more joyful to you as well. But I feel like, the energy shifted a little bit. I don't know if Jean felt it, but this past week, it felt like it lifted a little. I know there was some astrological, maybe it has to do with all those planets doing a dance, but I felt the energy lift. It's not been quite as oppressive, if it's felt to me for a while. And I also think we're going to see a little bit more inflow, because we've all been sort of under this feels like a heavy blanket kind of. But I think that's lifted some. So I would expect for you to go, hey, I got an offer or two.
I think our free will, we're exercising our free will, and we're not being manipulated because we have free will, and I mean that in the gentlest sense, but because something is startling or upsetting, it knocks us off of our focus and our understanding of that unknown. It makes it a little leery rather than more confident. We're more confident in the unknown when we have free will, but when we don't have free will, it becomes a little leery. But we were sort of the energy was sort of rocking us, and now I feel like we are back in our center as a collective, and we are strong, and we're purposeful, and we will move forward, and we're determined, is what I feel. So if you don't mind, I want to say that apartment 848, can you be more specific? You wanted a reading, and I was drawn to your name. And also, Troy, if you could be more specific, that would be wonderful. I was drawn to your name as well. And all the best to you, Ashley. And please just try and keep your hopes up. Try and just pretend, try and, get your nieces and pretend doing what you love to do. Whatever, just do what you love to do and feel how that feels. Just, and it really is right around the corner for you. But, what I mean is, don't sit at home and say, "Oh, I wonder what job is coming." It's really it's easy to get sucked into that lower vibrational type of concern or worry, but it's not serving our spirit. And our spirit wants to have fun and enjoy and pretend and do as much as you can of the things that you really love to do. Even if it's going out and jogging around the block, just do what you love to do. Try not to allow what situation you're in to affect your happiness. You know what I mean? So I see Wandering Dream here. Thank you, Leah. That was so sweet. Uh, yep. Okay. I was seeing if anybody that I asked came through, but I don't see anybody. So Dreams has finally announced that I do intuitive tarot, pendulum, and mediumship readings publicly. She told a few friends and family and asked to spread the word. I have one reading. Should I be doing this? Absolutely, 100%. Your name is Wandering Dream. Wandering Dream. Should I be doing this? Does it bring you joy? Are you helping other people? Wandering Dream, they not only need you and me and Mark, they need all of us. All of us here, anybody that's in earshot, anybody that's listening to this. If you think that you are moving into a psychic healing, mediumship, some sort of metaphysical service, this is how we're meant to be. This is where the humanity is moving towards. This is all needed and necessary. They need all of us. That's why we're all being nudged and encouraged. Okay, apartment 848, I see you, and grateful I see you too. How about you, Mark, about Wandering Dream?
Yeah, an apartment 868 left a big message too. Release your expectations of how it's going to be, right? So you step it one step and move to the next one, and don't immediately jump ship. Okay. It's a bit of a journey, a little bit, right? When you're beginning to do this, and the back and forth and figuring out if it's really for you and if it's something you want to do, but you still got to practice a little bit more. And word of mouth and stuff like that has to happen. So, give it a little more time than what you've done so far. I'm going to also say Spend a little more time. This is something that I always hear from me too, so I'm just going to pass along for you. Just sitting with your guide or your higher self or your connection to source. So spend some time doing that, where it's not about if I have somebody to read for or not. I'm just strengthening my connection with the higher power and my divinity in that. They want you to focus on that just a little bit more, kind of grounding that in more, getting it into your gut and feeling at home with it, like, I know I'm good at this, whether I have anybody to read for or not. It's kind of like that isn't what proves if I'm good at it, or you know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about how I feel within and focusing in on reading. So this is an opportunity for you to do it and examine it. You're kind of looking over each one at a time. And I'm going to say the universe kind of wants to go sort of slow and steady, not super slow, but it doesn't want to overwhelm you too much at once. It kind of wants you to get it in your pocket and kind of get it more grounded as you move forward. That's what I'm getting. So I'm saying it's working the way it's supposed to be. Don't doubt it. There'll be more people coming to get readings, and just, each one, just be grateful and see what you got from it, and then be waiting for the next one. Thank you, universe. I got what I wanted to do. I'm enjoying doing this, and I'm ready for my next one. Keep connected to, your spirit. Now, a lot of times, like if I say, I'm open to do private readings, and I leave it up to the universe to guide those to me that need one, right? And if that means it's a lot, great. If it means none, that's also great. I just kind of don't put too much emphasis on the numbers. Let's say that. I hope that made sense.
Wonderful. Thank you, Wandering Dream, for asking your question and for being here and being part of the team, the Lightworker team, right? All right. Next is Grateful. And Grateful, thank you for being here and letting me know you're here. And then Apartment 848, and then is Troy. Thank you, guys. So Grateful says she would like to get a message from her mom, Joan, or her stepdad, Harold.
For being glitchy. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay. Joan for Grateful. Joan.
I feel your stepdad, Harold, is he almost is a heroic archetype. I feel like he saved the day when your mom needed him to, and he's coming forward and saying that he's got mom there now. He's almost telling you he's taking care of mom now, that she's in good hands. And but he's really very much a I say knight in shining armor. Like he's really very humble, very kind, very giving, very loving. And the more that he can do for you, the happier he is. If you try and like put him on a pedestal, he's like, no. He doesn't want the glory, but he's such a loving soul. He's coming through first. He's saying that don't worry about mom. He's still taking care of her. He's still watching over her soul. He's still saying that they're together and that she means so much to him, and that they are together and that they are still in love. It is like almost like one of those meant to be kind of things. And I'm not sure, obviously he's your stepdad, so you were a young child when he came into your life. But um, Harold is coming through loud and clear, and mom is like just grinning ear to ear. And I just rhymed, so I don't know if they do that, but they're such a cute couple, and it's like they couldn't have tried, it couldn't have worked out any better. Like if your mom didn't do what she did and didn't have be looking for somebody, and Harold didn't do what he did and find your mom, like none of this would have happened. And they're saying that they're grateful for the things that didn't work out. They're grateful for the struggles and the loneliness and the sorrow that they had earlier in their life, that because of those things, this beautiful union, and not only for your mom but for Harold, for him to be the man that he wanted to be. Joan was exactly the woman who he needed to nurture and to love and to dote on. And he loved this. He loved taking care of the family. He would take care of the whole neighborhood. I don't know if he was a firefighter, but he had this really big energy that he's coming through. And he's really just letting you know that everything is status quo. What he was here in this world, they are on the other side. And your mom is really just grinning ear to ear. I don't know if she was a little quiet. I can't imagine. Um, but she just really is. I don't know if they died close to one another, like one passed and then the other one passed. There was a true love match there. It may have been not conventional, but don't doubt it for a moment. Everything happened the way it was supposed to. And Harold is saying, please listen to, to this, and apply it to your life. Everybody here that's watching, apply it to your life and see, what is it that's not working out now? And what could it possibly be setting up for you in the future that you would have never been able to set up? It's not conventional. It's not that you graduate college, you find a husband, you have a baby, it's not like that. It's never, it's follow your heart, follow your heart. And these two people are so much in love, so much in love. And she said he didn't seem that way. Let me see. Let me see. She's saying anything else. She just said it didn't seem that way. I'm not sure what that means. That they loved each other. Maybe it didn't seem that way, that it was all meant to be. But this is what he wants you to know. He wants you to know that everything happens for a reason, and that everybody was expressed and lived a life and had the lessons that was meant to be. But he's coming through first, but your mom's staying a little quiet. How about you, Mark? Maybe you are getting more from mom.
Okay, just going one direction. I'm going to ask Grateful, did you receive an inheritance after they left? It feels like that's what they're talking about. And I don't know, maybe you didn't, but it feels like no, you didn't get any inheritance. Because I don't know, maybe we're not tuned into the right people or something. Well, the only other thing is, which maybe we're going this direction, his energy was pretty, what is that like? Well, they're giving me, okay, I'll show you this card. Mark, can you pick up the cards? Ding dang. This King of Pentacles, but look at this big old bull in the middle of it. So maybe he was a little bullying or a little bit, or you felt bullied by him or something like that. His energy was strong and kind of pushy. And yeah, and his death, like I tell you, can I ever pull cards at the Ten of Swords and come out? What is happening? So here's the Ten of Swords in this deck. This is about him being laid to rest. And on some level, that made things nicer for you. I'm going to say you weren't quite that devastated about him crossing. It actually made things feel better, and he seems to know that. He. I don't know that you two had the best relationship. I'm not saying that your mother and he didn't, but it feels like maybe sometimes you felt a little on the outside, looking in, and not quite, like a happy family. That's what I'm getting. And now, in the meantime, I do get this energy, and this seems to be more from mom. This Ace of Cups energy, that there's always this love coming for you. That it feels like mom to me. There's this dove, and she'd like for you to feel love. Okay, that's all I'm getting. I hope that was somehow helpful.
Yeah, grateful. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know. They made me feel grateful for who I am, and I'm grateful for that. Well, okay. Thank you very much, Grateful. We appreciate your question and your feedback. And now we have apartment 848 is next, and then after apartment is Troy. And she's feeling stuck, or they are feeling stuck. And they also realized recently I can move dowsing rods with my eyes. Wow. Am I missing? And I'm missing my dog Roxy. Aw. Yeah, that is tough. And I feel whew. Roxy, she mirrored your emotions. She really absorbed a lot of your emotional energy, and she was enabled you to love outside of yourself, and she was happy to receive that. Um, and sometimes when we're feeling stuck, it only means that there is a decision in our life that we have been hesitant to make. And I'm not saying which decision this is. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't make it. Um, it's that our spirit guides can nudge us this way and nudge us that way. But if we are in analysis paralysis and we cannot take one step forward, there's nothing else for them to guide. They're waiting for us to take action. It's a co-creative type of process. They can't do it all for us. You need to take action. You need to make a decision. And when you make a decision, you need to take action. So as soon as you make that decision and take action, no matter if the decision is right or wrong, up or down, left or right, it doesn't matter. It's just you're moving. You're taking a choice. It's free will. They need us to choose, make a choice. If you choose to go to the right, to go to the store, and the store is on the left, then the spirit guides have something to guide you with. And because you're moving, you're taking steps, you're having free will. They can't do anything for you unless you choose. And just remember, it's a co-creation. And this is what I often find when people are feeling stuck, and they're in like that analysis paralysis. And I think it's wonderful that you're finding these new abilities that you have, and maybe want to explore that a little bit more. And it's important. I think that I think all of these things have a sense of identity and a sense of empowerment, because the feeling stuck is to take back your power, and the ability to move the dowsing rods is you're finding some empowerment. You found some empowerment. You're inspired by the empowerment of having a skill or having an ability. And then your missing your dog is almost it's almost like be great. It's like if we were just to remember our dog Roxy and all of the love and all of the times and all of the happiness that we shared together, that would be empowering. But it's not necessary for us to it's a process. It's a process of allowing ourselves to move through these feelings of ups and downs and missing them and trying to find out what it is that we can do for ourselves to sort of balance that energy that once was there. And memories and photographs are a really good way to bring that energy and that feeling back to us. Um, and I think you can actually still talk to Roxy. I think Roxy is available to chat with and to communicate with on the other side. And you may already know that Roxy is around you. I think you have more abilities than you're letting on. I think you hear Roxy or sense Roxy or Roxy like pops into your mind for no reason at all. I think she's around you. I think she's still trying to console you. How about you, Mark?
I don't know. I'm relating the stuckness to what I talked about before. That sort of oppressed feeling that a lot of us might have been feeling. And that could just be for me, but my guidance was, Mark, you're going to have to hunker down for the next few months and just focus within and focus at the house and don't put so much focus outside, kind of focus within. And it's a good time to work with your psychic abilities and stuff like that. So it also makes sense that the dowsing rod thing would go on because that's sort of aligning with what I sort of sensing. Doesn't mean everybody has to, but on some level, those of us who consciously work with spirit, you've made it a choice. And even for those of someone who haven't quite yet, but you're still on team love, we call you light workers. And that word is not said lightly. Like we've been working with the light the past few months. Not in that, and who knows? This is what I just keep hearing. Working as in helping to anchor it into the earth, a stronger vibration. I'm just going to call it God's light, the Creator's light, the universal light, into the physical form of the earth. So it becoming more imbued in physical form. That's what I get. And that a lot of us have been doing that. And it's one of the side effects is you feel tired or, like I kept getting, well, you just need to hunker down, Mark. Don't worry too much about it, about you don't have the energy you want or the motivation, because I've been really unmotivated and just tired a lot. Like I am so tired. And, they keep telling me that's what it is. Now, but that's lifted for me this past week. Just the energy part. All of a sudden, I don't feel that extraneous outside of me pushing me down kind of and keeping me lumped on the couch. So I've been a lot more, I'll go clean something or do something productive. So I don't think that's so much you. It's more about the energy. And that should be lifting. Now, more than that, though, I want to talk a little bit about Roxy. You don't have any other dog now? She's hanging around. She's still connected with you. You sense her energy pretty much. She wants to tell you that she's still on her soul's purpose. It's not over with. Look, she's still on the path walking. Looks like she could be even walking towards you rather than away from you. Her path's not over. You already know how to do this, but she's reminding you, don't forget, dream big. Focus in on me. Tune into me. See and hear me. This is little Roxy talking. You just rescued two. instinct. Trust your instinct. Pay close attention. And one more card, companionship through thick and thin. So all these cards make me feel like she's still really close to you, if not physically. Now she left. They said they lost their doggy a few months ago. Was that right?
6 months.
6 months ago. Well, take kind of a close look at those new rescues and just see if you get any kind of feeling about Roxy. I don't know, because I feel her energy right there with you. Now, it could be spiritual, but this makes me think, no, physical, right there beneath you. Trust your intuition. Pay attention. I'm still on my path. So, pay attention to River and Penny and just look and see. I feel like if it is Roxy, you'll get a sign about that. They don't have to be puppies, because it seems really important that, this dog, Roxy, wants to be with you still. It feels like that path with you wasn't finished. That's what I hear. So just put that in your brain and see if anything comes of it.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Apartment 868. I appreciate you being here and filling in the blanks there. It was really helpful. All the best to you and your crew. All right, Troy Durbin. Hi, Mr. Troy Durbin Martin Sr. I'm a police officer in Belize. The matter with me is that I was clear of those charges. Now I'm seeking an attorney in Belize who can defend me. And I thought you had a spiritual question. I'm so sorry. I don't read them before I choose them, but I just wanted to be specific. Do you still want to read on this, Mark? Is that what you're doing there?
Blaze, the matter with me is that I was clear of the charge. Now I'm seeking an attorney in Belize who can defend me in a civil case. Yeah, but I don't get the question. What is the question? Are you going to find an attorney? Is that the question?
He wants to know if the civil case will be decided in his favor, because he was cleared of the criminal charges, but now there's a civil charge that he still has to go through.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
Well, I'm going to ask, are you going to get an attorney that, like the perfect attorney for you? That feels like yes, but I don't think you have it yet. It'll depend on the attorney quite a bit. Do you see him being cleared, Troy? Yeah, I do. I feel like you will. It's going to depend on kind of the attorney who's representing you. So make sure you get a good feeling about them. Okay. You might go through, you might meet a couple of them. So the one that you'll feel a more open energy to them. I feel like you're going to have to choose between two. Yeah. Yeah, I think you will find one, Troy. Looks like there's going to be a couple that come and just, meet with them. The one's going to go, yeah, I want to do this. We can work this out. That's the way they'll be when you talk to them. It'll feel like, oh, yeah, that's no problem. When you present, what you're doing to them. That's what I think. All right.
And what's the criminal charge being cleared in your favor is a huge asset. And I do see that overall the case will be decided in your favor, but there may be a little bit of unknowns in that finding the attorney and trusting the attorney and deciding on the attorney. Just go ask your angels and spirit guides to guide you, because I don't feel like you're being railroaded, but I think you're being made an example of, or something, or somebody wants to prove a point, or it's not the issue at hand. It's more, it's like for the principle, or just what do they call that? As made an example of, or something. But you've already been cleared, and for them to continue that, it's like out of spite or out of anger. It's out of emotion. It's not from facts. So if you find somebody who's really logical about the facts and knows the details, I feel like that's your best bet, and try not to. But this person who is continuing with the civil case is quite emotional. What are you getting there, Mark?
Just that I think he's going to find the right lawyer. You'll know when you meet them, and they're going to act like, this is not a problem. And I think they're going to say, yeah, we'll get through this. Feels like you're
all the best to you, Troy.
Too long from now. Okay.
And I'm sorry that I didn't realize the question. I honestly thought it was a spiritual question. I'm sorry, you guys. I try not, if I read them, I pull myself out of the spirit realm. So I try and only read them when I pop them up. Okay. So, okay. I see Sherry Holman here. And okay. And is Saint Sal's girl here? Is Saint Sal's girl still here? Say hello. And Sherry says, will my daughter Samantha and I find financial freedom this year? Can you specify financial freedom? Are you going to hit the lottery and have financial freedom? Or are you going to be out of debt, financial freedom? Because I think it's okay, Sherry. Just do the best you can. Okay, Sal's girl, I see you. I think what you're looking for is to be out of debt, is what I feel. I think what I'm feeling for you, Miss Sherry, is you both have to be on the same page. Number one, in other words, you're in to take responsibility for your portion and to take action on your portion, and same with Samantha. I think they're two different things, and you may want to work on them, or remedy them one at a time. Because I think that Samantha and I is where it's getting mixed up. It is absolutely possible. I think that if you were to get your affairs in order, or your accounts in balance, yourself, and Samantha may need to find somebody else to help her to, if it's credit card, it's she's just got it's unsecured debt. She needs to get an advisor, because I think that she has a different situation. And it also may be, I don't know if she has school loans. Please don't tell me she has school loans. Because I feel like her situation is a little more, it could spiral into worse situation, where your situation is finite. It's not going to get any worse, and her situation can get worse. I'm sorry to say, but it's your situation is remediable, and it's important to take action and to not mix the two. and to have your daughter, Samantha, find somebody a counselor or an advisor or somebody who can help her. Because and that's all I'm going to say there. How about you, Mark? What are you getting?
Well, they didn't really like the word financial freedom, so my rods kept going. Yeah, no, not necessarily. But I did get, will there be more opportunities for abundance? And I got a yes on that. It feels like, though, I'm kind of a little bit more with your daughter. We're going to have to, work for it. I don't really see like a big lottery win, although anything's possible. So, whatever. But it feels like we might have to get interacting, working with others, like working for a living. I don't know if that resonates or not. There's a little bit of, work on your relationship with abundance. Why you want to be abundant, why financial freedom would be good, that kind of thing. Because there's a little bit of, I'm going to say a little bit of misconception about that. Because when it comes to abundance, we don't really deserve it any more or any less than anybody else. It just is. So you just try to change your relationship. It's just energy, right? Now you can make that energy crappy if that's your focus, or it can help you and everything. Money in itself isn't bad. The way people use it can be. There's a little bit of wonky donk thinking about money. It feels like it's more with Samantha, and I don't know her, and I'm not trying to judge her. I'm only trying to explain why this devil card's showing its face in this reading. That the biggest thing I'm hearing is it's a little bit of a thought. It's like this addiction to a certain kind of thought that doesn't really support you in your attracting more abundance. So whatever that is, that could just be not feeling worthy, not feeling like you have a service that anybody would want, stuff like that. There's all this abundance out there, but how do I get it? Something like that. There's a little bit more work to do on that. I also feel like, though, there's going to be some opportunities kind of knocking at the door, and then you're going to have to go, take action on it. Like I know you mentioned something about VA benefits. Well, apply for them. Do kind of move out of thinking into action, right? A little bit more for both of you. Move out of the thinking realms into the action realms. That's what I get.
Wonderful advice, Mark. Thank you so much. And if anybody doesn't already know, Mark has an amazing abundance playlist on his channel, Spirit Whisperer, and go to his playlist and go to the abundance. And it is some of the best work I've ever seen on it. And it is my go-to, and I recommend it to all of my clients that are dealing with that, because it is the mindset, it is energetic, and we have got to get out of that that type of thinking that puts us in that lack and move us into, and he's right, that the abundance is there. It's not good or bad. It's not for you or against you. It's not, it's a reality that we need to balance, or what would it be? Match our energetic frequency with it. Because it's all there for all of us, everywhere, all the time.
Yep.
And it's really, it's a brilliant set of, or playlist, and I love it, and I go to it. And Mark is just amazing. He does the most amazing work. I love.
It takes a little bit of work, guys. It's because there's so much negative thought and energy around money and abundance that we've all grown up with, and so you do have to kind of work to break through those ideas and those thoughts about it, and to realize it's no bigger or no littler than anything else. It's just energy. We put all this emphasis on it, which will kind of prevent us from receiving it sometimes. So it's a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a journey, or it was for me, to get to that point where that wasn't such an obstacle all the time. So, and I like that our person we were reading for, she says she's new to it. She's been working with manifestation stuff. And that explains that. That's why the little devil came up, because you're working with changing your mind. A lot of times the devil for me, because, it has that addiction energy. But let's remember, we can be addicted to negative thinking and not even know it, because our brain repeats it. So it's kind of addicted to it because that's what it learned. And so it'll just keep spitting it out until you say, hey, stop. We're changing our mind about this. You know what I mean? And so I like that our friend here is doing that. And that's what the cards were reflecting too. They're glad you're doing that too.
Oh, wonderful. I love to see that. I love to see the potential and the growth
Yeah.
and the aha moments in people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Saint L sells a girl. I'll just say Saint L. She says a message from her dad, Paul.
Louis. I keep wondering, what is that? Is that St.
is
Louis
that
salsa girl, maybe?
Oh, salsa girl. Oh, good.
I
Okay.
think. Well, I've read her name before, and I kept leaving out the STL at the beginning, but I think it's St. Louis salsa girl, I think.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And she did say she's here because it is mediumship. I just want to make sure you're still around. She did say she's here, but I don't know how long ago it was. But we're ready for you. So just say hi again. Yep. Okay. Thank you. She said St. Louis. You're right. Thank you very much for that. And she wants to connect with her dad, Paul. He seems like an old school kind of guy. Did he feel like he is educated and he did all the right things in life? I feel like he had a good job. He was smart, intelligent, and had he was a fortunate man. And he's telling me like he had and I'm saying these things so that you can validate. He had a good job. He was respected in his job. It feels like he worked for a bigger corporation and or like an engineer or a scientist or somebody who had like a career type of job, and then he had a pension or his retirement. It feels like he went through all of the normal steps or stages through life. He was respected. He had, does this make sense? Good job, but awful father. Okay. Well, this is what he's telling me about the good stuff. He's telling me about his job.
Yeah.
He said that's not who he is. I feel like he's saying that he was, we all have flaws because in this human container, we all have flaws. And he's saying that he didn't take the time or the interest in improving his behavior. It was almost like it was the way it was at work. And it was almost like that's the way he felt like he had to be all the time. Either that or it was the way that he was brought up. And he's saying that this is the way that he was used to being. And it's almost like he didn't make any excuses. He's talking about his work a lot. He's talking about his work, and he's telling me that he was respected at work and that he had pension and that he had retirement. I feel like he almost, and I'm not trying to make excuses, and there is no excuse for bad behavior and abusiveness, but he's saying it was it was the norm. It was the way it was. It was the way he was taught, the way he was treated, the way work was, and like it's almost like he didn't have the time to stop and consider somebody else's feelings. He was just moving forward. He was thoughtless. He said he did not have any thoughts about how his actions or his words affected people around him. He was just moving forward. And I felt like he was driven and determined and had to have like this rough exterior to himself in order to continue doing what he was doing. But it was not the appropriate, he's saying it was not appropriate. And he's saying that he sees now that he's missed out so much on the loving relationship and the potential of loving relationships. He said he didn't feel love. He's saying he didn't feel love and he was almost afraid of love. So he kind of shunned and pushed people away that would be loving to him. Oh, he really didn't recognize. I feel like he was narcissistic because he couldn't feel the love. There was something in his like a personality disorder that he couldn't feel the love, and he didn't want to feel the love. Like it's almost like if he felt love, it would weaken him or hurt him in some way. He's saying there was a disconnect in connecting with people. He felt like if he kept people aside. Let me see what he wants to say to you. He says he sees now how it affected you, and he wants to apologize for the disruption in your life and for not being the father that you deserved. He's saying he is asking for your forgiveness, and he wants you to know that he was a man with flaws, living a human experience, and that he does love you. He loves your soul. He's happy to be your father. He's very proud of you, and he loves you, and he wants to make amends. If you could allow him into your life at this point and allow him to make amends, that is your choice. And he wants me to stop there. How about you, Mark?
Okay. Well, he's talking, this is what he's telling me. He's not exactly proud of the way, he was with you. Having said that, it was kind of a soul contract, even though it sounds wonky. And he says, my kind of selfish focus and behavior pushed you into a stronger relationship. He's going to say, like with your true father. Now he means the creator he's talking about. So sort of this crappy upbringing, in a way, pushed you into seeking out this spiritual relationship. It kind of reminds me of me and some of the stuff that I went through. But so the reason I'm telling you this story is because here's that King of Wands. Now, to me, a lot of times this is like creator card, the head of the spiritual, the head of the spirit team. And he's talking about this. This is the relationship that means more for you, especially now, than the relationship we had, which was, not, sunshine and lollipops. He gets that. It's that inner spiritual, the high priestess, the King of Wands, that inner divinity within you. That's the important thing to focus on. And even though he's not happy about some of his choice and stuff, he can acknowledge from the other side how it did push you towards you say serving yourself in a better way. Not, you're very independent, you're strong-minded, that kind of thing. He thinks are good qualities. He says it's crappy, but I pushed you into this, realizing this. Here's the Lover's card. This relationship, real love. That love, this love from the divine light that's shining between them is unconditional, and it's for everyone. It's kind of like abundance. It's for everyone. But he needed you to actually even have more faith in this kind of relationship than the father-daughter. He acknowledges that he was kind of a selfish, cranky, there's the Hermit, solo focused. Like, I focused on me. And that focus was all the way this mental, deadly mental energy. Like, he wasn't very nice. You know what I mean? He just said things he didn't really care. Because, of course, I did another deck. So Ten of Swords had to come out. But, he said it was not good. That's that. Up till he died with the Ten of Swords. It wasn't like a great, wonderful, like you said, didn't have a lot of friends and stuff. But we wanted to end this on this Ace of Wands. That's the journey you're on, and that's the one to focus on. So as much as you can let go of the past, focus it on the present, and that Spirit has reached out to you and you've taken it. He said that way you can make lemonade out of the lemons I provided. That's what I'm hearing.
Wonderful. That is
Salsa Girl.
Yeah, it is extremely difficult, but yeah, he was found after a week after he passed. I'm so sorry, St. Louis Salsa Girl.
Yeah, that was like that Ten of Swords energy where he just kind of died alone. I was a little, I don't know, it was right up to the last moment. It was like he didn't really change his focus. I'm sorry, sweet. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not at all. It is unfortunately, it's not uncommon. And there are similar situations of individuals not having the capacity of loving, and that cause, we see it on the microcosm and we see it on the macrocosm. People who have the incapacity to love themselves and love other people, and they just cause absolutely, havoc in everybody's life because of their own inability to take care of themselves. And I do on a certain, it does seem like that they are in control, but I think that there is a strong component of personality disorder that is present in a lot of these situations. I too had a father who destroyed my life and was extreme narcissist. And my father kept coming through wanting to apologize. And I said, no way, I don't want anything to do with that man for 3 years after he passed. Finally, I allowed him to come through and apologize. And he just said, I did wrong. I had flaws. That was my human experience, but my soul loves you and we are soul family. And you are and always will be my daughter. And, I'm sorry for everything. And it was bad. It was bad. But it doesn't define us. We don't need to carry that. And we have to become who we are now and use these wounds as a shield, as tools, as armor. Look what I overcome. look who I am now. And you do say this. And it's really important to
Right.
focus on this, on that as
Right.
much as possible, because we can't change the past and we can't change other people, but we can change our perspective and what we do with that information from this point forward.
And just kind of be willing to look at it maybe in a different way for a bit. I think here I am at my age doing what I want to do, and a lot of things that I've wanted to do. Now, if I'd had a perfect, loving, caring, everything was great childhood, I may not have been ended up here. It was important for me to seek out a relationship with God on my own because I didn't feel like anybody else was going to do it. And I probably wouldn't have gone that direction without my dad helping me. And on that level, his soul agreed to be the bad guy for a while, to push me forward. I get that now. At the time, and like, growing up, I felt very wounded, victim, hurt. This is horrible. Poor me. I had a horrible childhood. And, I wore that for a while. Until finally am I just going to go around wearing that the rest of my life? I'm just going to be poor me. And then let me look at this different. And it really helped me to just even live in that possibility that maybe on some level, my soul said it's so important for me in this next lifetime to seek out that relationship regardless of anything else. And I have to want to do that more than anything. And that it's at a point where I can't turn anywhere else, And I think that the way I was brought up made me that person that was I can't depend on this. I can't depend on the earth things because they don't like me. Also I had to deal with being gay. So there was all that, anything's not in my camp. My parents don't like me. They don't understand me. Nobody likes me. And eventually I had to go, well, does God like me? And in seeking out that, for me, I got, we do like you, Mark. And maybe this is what we wanted you to do. We wanted you to come to us and say, hey, what about me? So I don't know. I hope that's making sense to you guys, but it can be difficult to let that go. And I get it. But, the other thing is once they're on the other side, that's gone. They let that go. They have to look at it and evaluate their choices and why because, they're learning a lesson too. It's like we get to do 2 lessons at once. Like maybe your dad was learning that is the worst way in the world to be a dad. And next time I'm not going that direction. For example, my dad maybe learned being a violent drunk wasn't a great way to be a dad, and for him, he kind of got it before he died. But, there's that, we don't know. And it just forgive people and realize that sometimes if you put their shoes on for a minute, they don't fit as good as you thought they did. And they may have had an equally horrible parent or child. You know what I mean? You just living in that pain and upset only gives you so much value. You're better to let it go. That's what they say. Yeah, go ahead.
If you need help with that, it's not, there's a lot of really good help and assistance and healing opportunities that are out there, because the more you remember the painful memories, the more you're re-injuring and re-abusing your own energy there. So the more you can let it go and forgive, it's not for them, it's for you. And it's not an easy thing to do. But if you work through each memory and unpack each memory and you work through it with a professional or with a counselor, it really does help you to feel more in control and have more, empowerment. and to take your own power back. And it's important for you to do that in this lifetime so that you don't, perpetuate or continue it in the next lifetime. But thank you very much, everybody. It's such a wonderful community here. Everybody is supporting one another and giving Salsa Girl, lots of love and support. We really appreciate that. And everybody who's here, who asked your questions, who are supportive. And thank you, Mark, for your wisdom. And I love reading together. It was so much fun. I tried to do a little bit of a variety, and some of them, I didn't even know which one I was choosing. It surprised me when I pop them up. And I'm like, oh, nice. I didn't know it was that. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking with us. And we will be back again next month. And Mark, you have your show at 4 o'clock today, yes?
Yeah, 4 o'clock. It's Ask Anything Day. So if you have, you can ask whatever you want on that show.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And I will be back this afternoon at 3 with Sherry, Voices from the Swamp. And please do come on back if you'd like to check that out, and check Mark every Saturday at 4 p.m. I love Ask Anything Day. So
4 Eastern. That's right, Eva.
4 Eastern.
About an hour and a half. Okay.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.
Not long enough to do it. We'll be doing it. All right. Bye, guys. Love ya.
Thanks. Bye-bye.